Hi there, welcome to my channel. Thank you very much for tuning in to watch my video. My name is Chichi and I'm from Zambia. Thank you very much for everyone who have subscribed. Those who are yet to subscribe, please do well to subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the notification button if you want to be the first to know whenever I post any fresh content. On my channel, you are expected to find topics from scholarships, fellowships, different professional development programs, any international organization programs, and topics that you, my viewers, who are the people we love on this channel, would want to know whenever you post a comment and ask for any topic. If I have information on it, I'll be glad to make a video on it. Well, on today's video, we're going to be looking at the Chevening relationship building essay question. In my previous video, we looked at the leadership question. If you haven't yet watched my previous video, please do also go back and watch my previous video. I'll be glad to put a link in my description box for you to go back and watch the video. Well, before we go into the nitty-gritties, for those who are new to my channel, my name is Chichi and I am a 2022-2023 Chevening scholar. I'll be going to the University of Sussex to study international education and development. Well, before I go ahead into the details of our video on the Chevening relationship building essay, I would like to put up a disclaimer that anything I'm sharing with you in this video is strictly based on my personal experience and is not the views of the Chevening Secretariat, and nor is it the views of the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office. Well, let's get into the details of how we can successfully write the Chevening relationship building essay question, which comes second in the application, the Chevening application. Well, I'll begin by first reading the how Chevening phrases this relationship building essay question. And it reads, Chevening is looking for individuals with strong professional relationship building skills who will engage with the Chevening community and influence and lead others in their chosen profession. Please explain how you build and maintain relationships in a professional capacity using clear examples of how you currently do this, and outline how you hope to use these skills in future. So that is how this relationship building question is phrased. Well, what is being talked about here? Firstly, I would like to note that you have to answer this essay question within 100 to 500 words. Do not go below 100. Do not write beyond 500. But when you are writing, just keep on writing and writing. At the end of it, when refining, that's when you ensure that your essay does not go beyond 500. I mentioned in my previous video when I was talking about the scholarship that the system usually sifts out ineligible candidates after the deadline of the application. If your essays go beyond the 500 word limit, the system will automatically sift you out. So we don't want that. So let's maintain the 500 word cap. So let's look at this, the question I was just reading on the Chevening relationship building. One thing I'd like you to note in the question, it states that Chevening is looking for those who have the professional relationship building skills who will engage with the Chevening community. When you're selected as a Chevening scholar, Chevening arranges or has events, different networking events during the year, the 1 year of the master's program. There are different events that Chevening organizes. There are different volunteer opportunities. There are different conferences, different workshops. How will you, as a Chevening scholar, engage with this community? That's what Chevening wants to know. And how you're going to show this is by telling your story. Firstly, Chevening has got an alumni network is more than 50,000, and they want to know how you're going to fit in this alumni. What are you going to contribute positively? So when we look at building professional relationships, we as professionals belong to different professional bodies. We belong to different professional institutions. We belong to various groups. We have some of you volunteer in different platforms. Social media is also another way of networking. You do belong to different groups. Now, Chevening wants to know, one, how do you build these relationships? Two, how do you maintain the professional relationships? Three, how do you use or leverage on these networks or relationships that you have built to sort out any problem in your community or in these different organizations? So this is what Chevening is looking for. Chevening mainly wants to look at problem solving. How do you leverage on these networks? And one thing you should also notice, when you're building relationships, when you're talking about your experience, how you maintain and how you contribute or sort out problems with your networks, you should also note that it is a two-way thing. How do you also help others as their network or as in your professional relationship? It's a two-way thing. So I'll give, for instance, on my personal I'll talk about my personal examples. Firstly, I am a teacher by profession, and as a teacher, I belong to a particular school and an institution. But in the teaching, we have what we call teacher groups. In these teacher groups, this is where teachers from various schools, you meet with teachers from various schools to discuss different topics, different challenges that our learners are going through. And this is how I strive to participate in all these groups for me to build my relationship. The other way is I thrive to participate in different international programs. For instance, in 2019, I participated in I was one of the 22 Zambians who represented at the World Youth Forum in Egypt. That is my other way of how I build my relationship. I also participate in different voluntary programs. Currently, I volunteer for an institution known as Healthy Learners as a school health teacher. And as a school health teacher, we do have different meetings with different school health teachers from various schools. This is how I build my professional relationships. I am an alumni of the American AE Teacher Program. I participate in different professional development programs, and through my participation, I build relationships with the people that I meet in these platforms. That is how I build my professional relationships. So how do I maintain these professional relationships? For instance, I belong to an international group of teachers, and it is from that, on social media, on Facebook, it is from that group where I have met different teachers from the global pool. And through these networks, we communicate, have different online meetings, and through this, I maintain the relationship by continuing communicating, keeping abreast with the information on the group, asking questions, also helping out on people who ask questions. I keep contact with these relationships, these professional relationships or networks that I build in these platforms. So how do I leverage on these networks? I'll give a clear example. In 2019, I had a challenge with my learners. My learners, I realized that most of the learners that I teach English, were unable to use or apply the grammar rules that we teach them in class to the outside world. So you find that you teach them grammar in class, but they are unable to connect these grammar rules when they are speaking English outside and mingling. So this, when I realized this, I approached one of the teacher trainers from the international school from Bangladesh. I asked him how, as a teacher trainer, he can advise on how this could be done. And he introduced me to a program which is called the American AE Teacher Program. This program is for English teachers around the globe. It helps English teachers to build and enhance their teaching skills. This is where you enhance your English teaching skills. It's practically a professional development program for English teachers around the world. So he introduced me to this program. I applied through the American Embassy and I was selected. And it is from then where I now joined a group to do a course called Teaching Grammar Communicatively. And it is from that platform where I met different English teachers from around the globe. And from then, when I successfully completed this program, I went ahead and applied the I applied the skills and the knowledge that I learned from my professional development in my class. I went ahead also to present to my fellow English teachers on different platforms that I belong to. I shared out the information. I realized along the way, with the drills and the experiences that I had gained from participating in that program, my learners had begun to make drastic improvements. So this is an example of how I build. I actually use this example in my Chevening essay. So now, how are we going to begin to answer our Chevening relationship building question? First things first, have an engaging opening statement. Having an engaging opening statement will tell it all. We want to captivate the readers. Remember, we have a reading committee ahead of us who are coming to read these essays. So when you have an engaging opening statement, this will captivate the reader to continue reading, and it will tell it all. Do not begin by defining what you think relationship building is, or the attributes of who can build a relationship, like professional relationship. No. Begin by go straight to the point. Throughout my teaching career, I've always strived to create or build professional relationships by participating in different professional development programs in my school. I belong to teacher groups, I belong to blah, 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 blah. In 2019, I had the opportunity to meet so and so and so. How did you leverage on that? Explain, tell your story. Please do not fabricate stories. Do not lie. When you create a story, it will show. Remember that after these essays, once your essays cut it and you go through to the interview stage, you have to now go and defend your essays. Now, if you tell a lie, how are you going to defend your essay? How are you going to do it? So please be authentic. Tell your story. If it is your story, even the passion in how you're telling your story will show. The other point is, in the previous video, I talked about the STAR approach. STAR approach, which stands for S, situation, T, task, A, action, R, result. We can also add an L for what you learned from the experience. We'll maintain using the STAR approach. This is an important approach in both the leadership essay and the relationship building essay. When you're telling your story, you are going to talk about the situation. For instance, I talked about my situation. As a teacher, as an English teacher, I realized that my learners have a challenge in applying the grammar rules which we teach in class when they are outside the classroom. And for me to find a solution to this challenge, that's the situation. What was my task? My task was now to begin to leverage on my networks. I belonged to the International Teachers Forum, where I interacted with different teacher trainers, and I picked on one who I have had built a professional relationship with, who guided me on how I could apply for the American AE teacher program. The action. I applied for the program, I participated in the program where I met different languages teachers, different professors, and I got skills and knowledge from participating in that program. The result, I was able to apply the skills and the knowledge I learned in that platform in my classroom. How I could now physically teach my learners on maintaining the grammar rules even outside class. I went ahead and made presentations, which I presented in different continuous professional development platforms in my school and even in the teacher platforms that I belong to. So that is my story. That was the result. Throughout, I presented in 5 different platforms. I explained what did I learn. I explained what I learned. So that is how you lay out your relationship building. I have mentioned and I'll repeat. Firstly, Chevening wants to know how you build your networks. Earlier on, I explained how one can build networks. Secondly, how do you maintain these networks? Thirdly, how do you use these networks or leverage on these networks to sort out problems? Chevening is looking for a problem solver. So it's this relationship building part in which Chevening wants to understand. How are you going to contribute to the community in which you are entering, the Chevening community? How are you going to positively contribute? So these are the tips I can give you when writing the Chevening relationship building essay. And one thing I would also like to note, this applies for all the essays that you're going to be writing in the during the application. Please, please, please find at least 2 or 3 people who you can trust to help you refine and edit your essays. It is not easy to write. When you write something, you would think, oh, this is perfect, this is what. I have believed in giving another pair of eyes to look at your work, especially those who are experienced. I know you probably know people who have gone through the chevening process and have been successful. Please try to search through your networks. That's also networking and relationship building, and ask these people to begin to help you refine, edit your work, go through, and they can continue helping you on doing the correct thing. It's just not a walkover. You're not just going to write it. You write the essay and it's done. It's hard work, which is why Chevening has opened the application window to 3 months, from the 2nd of August through to the 1st of November, which is enough time for you to write. In my next video, we'll be looking at the study in the UK essay, and the following video we'll look at the career plan. Like I said, I'm going to be with you throughout the application process. Even after the submission of the application, I'm going to guide you on how you can do the rest of the things which you are required to do. Please ask any questions, comment in my comment box. Please don't forget to subscribe for those who haven't yet subscribed. Like my video, share my video, and hit the notification button if you want to be the first to know when I post any content. Once more, my name is Chichi, and see you in my next video.